is realizing that men do not care about your accomplishments as a woman. They don't care about your education. They don't care about your degrees. They don't.
This is just going to remind me of Kevin Samuels, because he said this all the time. And Black women get on there like they're so smart because they have their degree and their everything and all this and that. And he tells them all the time that men don't care about that. They really don't. And they might even be turned off by it because they want a woman to submit. I've had men say this all the time, that they want a submissive woman. And then women look at that like that's a bad thing. And it's not. If your man is worthy of submission, if he's a man that is a leader and is going to lead you in a good way, then you are supposed to submit to him. And I don't think it's difficult to be submissive to a man that is treating you right. You know, I just feel like women, they think their education is something to a man, and it's really not, because they're not looking at that. That's something that we look at in a man, because he's supposed to be this leader. You know what I'm saying? But we want to get in a relationship and think that we're so smart and we're going to lead him. And it's just always going to be a conflict, because that is not the place that a woman is supposed to be in. And a man's supposed to be the leader. The woman's supposed to be, the man's the head, the woman is the neck. That's how it's supposed to be. And this is why we're always going to be at odds, because we're not in our proper places, you know. But I'm not going to be letting no man lead me to the bowels of hell, you know. So I get it, you know, why women don't want to, you know, be followers of a man. But if you get a good one, that's what you're supposed to do. And this is, I feel this is a lot of the problem.
Care about how much money you're making. They don't care about, you know, what businesses you're running. They don't care about any of that stuff. If they do not find you attractive, they will not go out of their way for you whatsoever. They will walk right past you.
I think she's attractive. I feel like she has natural beauty. I don't see what the issue is. I mean, we can't see the bodies on any of these women because the cameras are full. I mean, just face. But I just wonder, is it because they're full figured or whatever? Because I know a lot of men love that. You know what I mean? I feel like it's more just what you exude and the confidence and stuff that you exude that makes you unattractive. It's your inner light and all of that that makes you unattractive, in my opinion. I just feel like there's somebody for everybody. But if you're exuding that is something wrong with you, or that you're at some type of deficit because of the way you look or whatever, I feel like you're going to exude that, and it's going to be off-putting without you even realizing, or the person realizing that you're exuding that
to a beautiful woman. And the thing about it is, the sooner you like realize that and accept it, you won't even get like offended by it. Like, because the thing about it, men and women are just wired differently. A real man doesn't really have to care what a woman has going on. If he has, you know, money, if he has education, all that kind of stuff, I mean, it's like, it's not like you can't even really fault it. Like, men have the luxury, because for the most part across, I don't even know if I go as far as saying like across the world, but for the most part, in most communities, men make more money than women. So they have the luxury of being able to date for things outside of stability, you know, even general, sometimes even compatibility. They can date for whatever reason they want to. Whereas women, like, you know, sometimes we're looking for other stuff. We can have $1 million in the bank. A lot of women would still want a man that has more money than.
How about that? She said a woman can have $1 million in the bank and still would want a man to have more. And we do carry on like that. You know what I mean? And then, you know, you don't realize that it's so much more to the relationship than just the money and who earns the most or who's smarter than the other one and all that. And it's just, I just wish men and women could get in their proper places, you know, because I feel like if a woman is submissive, then there's the men that will run over you and take you for granted. And then if you're not, the man is mad because you know you're argumentative or, you know, defensive or whatever. It's just like it's hard to really find a balance. And you know, everybody's just, I feel like with people that they're just not evenly yoked with. And it kind of goes back to what Kevin Samuels used to always say, is that like this girl saying that you have to just realize where you stand and pick somebody on your level. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of these women want these men that's on these super high frequency, or, you know, on a super, you know, not even high frequency, because you can be broke and be on a high frequency, but they just want these high value men and all this and that. And they're just not at the level of that. And you know, like one of the AI, the old lady creators that give relationship advice, she was like, you know, saying that men, all women are expensive. Pick the one you can afford and shut the fuck up. Basically, you know what I mean? And it's the same thing with women. It's like pick the man on your level and shut up. You know what I mean? It's like you're wishing on a star for this person that's so out of your reach. Or is do the work on yourself to elevate your frequency. That is what I chose to do. I did a lot of work on myself. Did a lot of work on myself. And when you do that work on yourself, you're going to watch yourself elevate and just forget about dating in all areas of your life. I feel like I've elevated in all areas of my life. And I'm very happy, you know, with the person I am today and what I've achieved and where I am and the joy that I have in my life at this time. You know, and if I meet a man that's a leader, I will be submissive and follow him, you know, and create something great. Otherwise, I'll just stay by myself because I'm that joyful, you know, in my life. And, you know, by working on yourself and putting the love into yourself instead of putting it into some outside entity, that is going to elevate your frequency. Every time, I guarantee, and you will meet better people that way. I mean, you won't have to do a lot of spiritual work, a lot of work. Like I do a lot of work on my body too to try to keep it together to the best of my ability. I'll fall off. That's why I say I'm always struggling. That 20 pounds. Up, down, you know. So, you know, but you know, I try to keep it together. I don't let myself go completely. Listen to what this young lady's gonna say.
In them or has something equal or something similar. I'm not saying all women, but a lot of women, because they're just scared, you know, they know it makes them an easy target for men that are leeches and moochers and, you know, just want to use them. But men, they just are wired differently. They can go after what's beautiful. So realizing that as a woman, I also had to come to the other harsh reality of
And
what my
she's right. A man can pick a woman just because she's beautiful and how he makes her feel. You understand? Because that's really what it boils down to, is how you make a man feel and how you know, how you help him recover from his wars that he goes through every day and stuff like that. You know, it's very that a woman's job. And I just, a lot of women don't realize that. You know, where women, we need a man that can be physically strong and protect us and, you know, provide for us and stuff. Like we're looking for something completely different.
grandmother told me when I was like maybe 14 or 15. She told me that you have to maintain your appearance as a woman until the day you die. And I know some of y'all
Do
are like,
y'all hear this? Her grandmother told her that you have to maintain your appearance to the day you die. I look at how women were in the 50s. Women were taught to dress up and look pretty for their husband when he came home. I don't see what's wrong with that. Because why does he want to come home to you with a bonnet on, with some active wear pants when you ain't active? I mean, a bathrobe on. I mean, it would be nice. I seen one video where a woman dresses up in a costume every time her husband comes home. A silly costume, a firefighter, all kind of crazy stuff. I thought it was hilarious, and it keeps the relationship funny and fun. You know, and it's irritated as her husband seems sometimes when she comes home and doing all these pranks on him. He's getting attention, and it's funny. It's fun. It keeps you young and happy in the relationship. You know, I would kind of, I mean, I like a man in sweatpants. I can't lie, but I wouldn't want to just see him in a holy t-shirt wearing the same damn shit every day and stuff like that. Life is about balance, you know, and the same thing that, we expect, men expect it too. You can't fall off because there's other women that's, keeping it together. They're not good. They can't help but see it. I don't know. I just can't let myself go to that magnitude. I'm a person that pulls it together just to go to the supermarket and stuff like that. I just don't want to ever be caught out there looking crazy. That's just me. Even when I'm home, my lounge clothes are cute. That just brings me joy to look like that.
Thinking like, oh damn, Taylor, you didn't listen. I don't wear makeup all the time, but I still kind of feel like I'm put together. I always have good hygiene. I always maintain, a certain level of fitness. Y'all know my mother died. She had a stroke when I was 13. So I always try to maintain a certain level of fitness.
Well, a lot of the reason why I want to try to stay fit, I go to the doctors regularly. I have a trainer. I go to the gym. I ride my bike. I do whatever I can. I have my son at 40. I want to be alive to see my son be a man. I don't want high cholesterol. I don't want diabetes and heart shit and all. So that's why I try to keep it together. And once you hit a certain age, you're gonna have to work hard for it. Now I'll be doing like weight training and stuff. It's not fun, but the results are great. So I just can't let myself fall apart completely because vanity won't allow it. For me, whatever it is for you that motivates you to get it together, get it together.
But she told me that you have to be it all, or like you have to, like, you can be funny, you can be smart, you can be strong, you can be, like all of these other things, but you can never neglect your appearance in the process. And coming to that realization, like, wow.
I agree. And fellas, this goes for you too. Don't get no pot belly, And once you get to a certain age, a little bit of weight is okay. Because once you get to a certain age, it'll be hard. I get it. But you don't want to be crazy with it. You understand? A little something is all right. A little bit of belly, something is okay. A little bit of thighs is okay. You understand? But you don't want to go crazy where you're unhealthy and you can't even go for a walk or ride your bike or anything like that. That's crazy to me.
As a woman, you always have to maintain your appearance because it's just, there's so much currency in a woman's appearance. And I'm going to tell you one other thing. My grandmother is 94 years old. She's a woman who's always taking care of herself physically. She always told me, don't let your kids stress you out. Don't let your husband stress you out. Don't let your job stress you
out. And that is very true because stress is the short, I don't know, Trump, I feel like allergies. Stress is the shortest way to age you quick. And I don't like nothing stressing me because I know this and I'm trying to keep it together. So as soon as I feel stressed out from somebody, I leave them alone. If we can't work this out where it's not going to be a stressful situation and aging me, I got to go. Even with work. If I have too much stress and too much drama and stuff like that, I don't need to work there. I don't need to be with those people because it's not worth it.
You out. And I'm telling you right now, every time I go out with my grandmother, she always gets compliments on her looks. People never believe her age. She gets hit on by men at 94 years old. She's still getting hit on, which is crazy to me, but it happens. And
have y'all seen those the fittest women? And some of them are like 70 and their bodies look like they're 30. I'm telling you, by being in shape and weight training and stuff like that, it'll make your body stay looking young. And that's a lot of the reason why I do it is because I want to keep it together and I don't want to get all out of shape and flabby and shit. Because you see that shit happening, once you get to a certain age, you start seeing, like when I was a model, I could lose 10 pounds in a week. Now I got to fight for it now to lose 10 pounds. I got to damn near fast and starve to, but you got to do what you got to do. You can't let it all go south.
I understand now that like beautiful women are always going to have options. Okay? So like at the very
Beautiful women complain too. Beautiful women get messed up men too. Beautiful women get men that leech off of them or beat them or do. Listen, that is a misconception that beautiful women have it all like that, because they go through it too. You could look at Hollywood and look at the models and this and that. Some of the most beautiful people in this world have had terrible relationships too. Nobody is exempt.
most, a man who can get a beautiful woman that's also smart, funny, and all that other stuff, he's going to feel like he hit the jackpot. But if you're a woman that never really puts much effort into their appearance, you don't maintain your fitness, you don't really, try to dress in a way that's, where you at least look polished. You don't have to wear makeup. You don't have to look like a Barbie doll. Some people prefer a more natural.
That's why I say just polish. Just, you don't have to have makeup or even have your hair done. Like most of the time, my head is wrapped up like this. I have a huge collection of hats. I love hats. I don't wear wigs and all that stuff. When I was younger, I used to wear them when I was a model, but I really don't like having hair on my head. I always hated that. Only if I had to, and now I don't have to. So, and now my hair is really short. I cut my afro off because I just wanted to clear my energy. Every once in a while, you should, every so many years, whatever, you should cut your hair because hair holds energy. And I definitely feel light and free when I did that. And I can't even tell you, I feel like more men talk to me now that my hair is short, which just surprised me that now that I have really short hair, that I draw so much attention to myself with it.
Look, you don't have to have a super exaggerated body or anything like that either. But if you don't look put together or they don't find you attractive, it's hard, like dating. It is. And like I said, men are just wired differently. They're built differently. They have the luxury of being able to date just for looks. Whereas women, we're looking for more than that. Okay. So if you're,
I feel like men are looking for more than that, but like I said, for men, I feel like it's not like he's looking for you to provide for him and do, unless he's a bum. Like they said, the guys that are freeloading. But if he's a real man, it's how you make him feel. You understand? And how you elevating him and how you're caring for him emotionally and stuff like that. That's really what they look for. From what I've heard them say, a woman that can take care of them, do stuff for them, keep the family in line, run the household, help run the business, whatever, whatever he's asking you to do, you're supposed to help him in doing it, And if you have 9,000 careers and different things that you're doing, you might not be of no use to a man like that. That's why a lot of times they pick women that don't have all of that. And women don't understand why their degrees and all that don't mean anything.
a woman that has money, education, can provide for themselves, all of this kind of stuff, but you don't do anything to maintain your appearance, unfortunately, you're going to attract sometimes the wrong men. I see it all the time. Like, you might attract the pretty men, but you're going to have to take care of them physically, financially, all of that kind of stuff. They will mooch off of you. They will lie to you. They will abuse you. They will do all of this other stuff. They will try to control your finances. They will splurge on other women on your dime. I've seen it happen. Okay. And ask any woman who's maybe had an extreme like weight loss or done something to their self physically. Like, for instance, maybe they got their teeth done.
The reason why women get more attraction after they have extreme weight loss is because their confidence goes up. That's why I say it's not necessarily the way you look that's the problem. It's inside. It's like you're exuding more confidence. I feel like all men like a confident woman unless he wants somebody with low self-esteem to abuse. Because other than that, why would you want somebody that doesn't see their value? Why would you want to be around somebody like that? Why would you want to be in somebody's frequency that's like that? I don't see that. That doesn't make sense.
Maybe they change their hair. maybe they got their breasts done, maybe they got like a liposuction.
Listen, how many times have you seen men get a girl breast implants and liposuction because they care about the way the woman looks? They'll buy you a personal trainer and all kind of stuff to make sure you look right with them. That's how they think.
Something like that. Ask them if their quality of men or the type of men that they attracted once they made those physical changes changed. Ask them. And the thing about it is, it made me sick to my stomach, like coming to this realization, because I've always been a woman that prided herself on being like smart, and I think that I'm funny, and I think that I have a lot of things going on for me, but men just do not care about stuff like that. They really don't. Like I said, you have to either have both or just be beautiful. You can't have all of this stuff and not be attractive, because men will, like I said, they will walk right past you unless they're the type that is going to mooch and just take advantage. Not a lot of these men are just so shallow. It's disgusting.